At his trial, he tried to defend himself, claiming he was lonely and that his wife's absence had driven him to act. But no excuse could justify his monstrous actions. The court sentenced him to life imprisonment, ensuring he could never hurt another child again. In a small bustling town called Ozioma, there lived a little girl named Adanna. She was only 8 years old, a bright and cheerful child with a smile that could melt hearts. But behind that smile lay a secret too heavy for her shoulders to carry. Adana lived with her father, Mr. Ekene, and her stepmother, Madam Bisi. Her biological mother had passed away when she was just a baby, leaving her in the care of her father, Mr. Ekene. Mr. Ekene remarried, hoping to give Adana a complete home. But instead of love and warmth, Adana found herself trapped in a house filled with fear. It all began one cold evening. Mr. Ekene, who was known as a respected community leader, called Adana into his room. He sat her down and whispered, "Adana, you are my special child. But this is a secret between us. You must not tell anyone." At first, Adana didn't understand what her father meant. She trusted him as any child would. But that night, her world was shattered. Her father began to do things that no child should ever experience. She would cry out, "Papa, please stop. It's hurting me." But her cries only seemed to fall on deaf ears. Each time, Mr. Ekene would threaten her, "If you tell anyone, Adana, the spirit will punish you. You will be cursed." Out of fear, Adana stayed silent. Madam Bisi, on the other hand, was a businesswoman who ran a successful food market in town. She was hardly ever home, always preoccupied with her trade. Even when she was around, she barely paid attention to Adana. "Adana, go and wash plates," she would bark, waving her hand dismissively whenever the girl tried to talk to her. One evening, after another traumatic experience, Adana mustered the courage to speak up. She found Madam Bisi in the kitchen, sorting through a bag of yams. "Mama Bisi," Adana whispered, her voice trembling, "I need to tell you something about Papa." Madam Bisi barely glanced at her. "What is it now, Adana? Can't you see I am busy?" "But Mama, Papa hurts me." Adana's voice broke, and tears streamed down her face. "Adana, stop lying," Madam Bisi said. "Your father loves you. You are just looking for attention. Go to your room." Adana stood there, frozen, her tiny arms trembling. She wanted to scream, to beg her stepmother to listen, but Madam Bisi was already back to her yams, mumbling about how children these days were so dramatic. Weeks turned into months, and Adana grew quieter. Her once bright eyes lost its sparkle, and her laughter disappeared. She avoided her father as much as she could, but he always found a way. One day, the unimaginable happened. Madam Bisi returned home unexpectedly from the market and heard muffled cries coming from Adana's room. She rushed upstairs and opened the door to find Mr. Ekene towering over Adana. The scene before her left her paralyzed with shock. Adana's tear-streaked face looked up at her, pleading for help. Madam Bisi's heart broke into pieces as reality hit her like a thunderbolt. She screamed, pushing Mr. Ekene away and pulling Adana into her arms. For the first time, she saw the pain in the child's eyes, the fear, the betrayal. Madam Bisi wasted no time. She called the authorities, and Mr. Ekene was arrested. Adanna was taken to a safe home where she received counseling. Slowly, with time and love, she began to heal. As for Madam Bisi, the guilt of not listening to Adanna earlier weighed heavily on her. She closed her market and dedicated her life to supporting children in need. She founded a shelter for abused children, vowing never to let another child's cries go unheard. Dear viewers, always pay attention to the children in your life. Their voices may be small, but their pain is real. Ignoring their cries for help can lead to unimaginable suffering. No amount of success or work is worth the cost of a child's safety and happiness. Be a listening parent, a guardian angel, and a protector of the innocent. If you enjoyed the story, please do not forget to subscribe, like, and share. Together, let's spread awareness and bring hope to those who need it more. Thank you for watching and see you in the next story. Bye-bye.